Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy Lit, back with another NBA 2K video. In today's video, I have our second episode of our No Money Spent guide. I'll link the first episode down below in case you guys missed it. But in the first episode, I basically showed you guys how to get VCs various different ways, from playing, play now to career games, different means. I won't even go into that. Just click on the video if you are having trouble getting VC and stuff like that. Now in episode 2, we're going to be talking about settings, and we're also going to be talking about ways to alleviate the grind, okay? Because we are going to be no money spent, which means we aren't going to be able to just jump up in overall like how a lot of other people are able to just jump up in overall. So with that being said, let's jump into the video. Again, starting off with settings. Now, the first thing that I would tell you is to, just make sure your controller settings are right and, what you want. I would recommend that you take the jump shot meter off. I would recommend that you shoot with no meter, but it's up to you if you want to or not. The layup meter, I play with layup meter on just because of the contest and the animations, the length of the animations. You might think that you would let it go later or earlier than what you really needed to. So I would recommend you keep the layup meter on. I've heard people say you do get like that 20% boost for having no meter on the layups too. I don't know, because I've always had the layup meter on, so that's just me. And I always keep layup timing on because Pro Touch is such a good badge this year that you are putting yourself at a disadvantage if you don't put layup timing on, for shots and layups. Before, people would just go with shots only, and then they would just have their they would go with shots only, and then they would just have their layups be automatic or just AI computer generated. It didn't matter. They didn't have to time it. The layups was based on that. But this year you kind of want to have it on, so I go with it on again. And then free throw, I go with it off because I know my free throw animation. But if you don't know your free throw animation, you could put it on. Personally, I don't, because sometimes the meter glitches out and it'll give you a crazy bounce back, or glitch out and give you a crazy glitched or whatever. So I just don't use the free throw meter at all, and I haven't for a very, very long time, probably since like 2K20, 2K21. I haven't used the free throw meter. So that's just me. Go with what makes you feel most comfortable. Trigger effects, I take this off. That shit goes crazy and it's just dumb. You don't really want the trigger effects on. I be hearing like old heads and casuals that don't know no better. They should just be rattling nonstop, like anytime we were playing in a rec and I'm playing solo rec, I be hearing, and I hear that, I'm just like, oh man, somebody didn't take the trigger effects off. You don't want this on by any means, so just take the adaptive trigger effects off. And then vibration, you can really choose to leave this on or off. It really, it's really up to you. I leave it on because it does kind of help with finding the release timing for your jumper and stuff, because the controller does vibrate when you're supposed to release. At least it's supposed to. So I leave it on, but for other games, I will usually turn this off. Really, like I said, it's up to you. And then all of these things are just basically, subjective, where you want these icons. You could turn them off or you could keep them on, but you could have them where you want them so they're not, too much in your way. Then these are my settings again that I have on. I play on absolute. Everything absolute. That's just me. I don't play on camera relative for anything. Pro stick defense, all this stuff. It's absolute, meaning that it won't change regardless of the orientation that I'm in, that I'm facing and stuff. So that's why I like to keep this on absolute. If you play camera relative, it will be relative to the camera, the direction that you're facing. So left won't be left and right won't be left. Or up won't be down, down won't be up. It will be based on the camera position. So I like to go absolute because I like my control stick to be up, down, left, right, no matter what. When I reach, I want it to be reaching for that, hand, no matter what. Whether I'm facing the camera or not facing the camera. I have all of this stuff set to 50 is just the default. You can change this up or down. I used to bring these down. I used to bring the defensive assist strength down, so I have more control over my player. But this year, I kind of started off playing 50-50, and it's fine like this. I haven't messed with this at all. And then, of course, the pass target profile, I always play custom. and I always play like this. Although I would say my target openness was usually down a little more, like 3, and I would usually do like this. But this year I'm going 5. I go 94 pass direction, 2 target distance, and 5 open. And that's just because I like the passing to be based on where I'm directing the stick. If I hold stick right and press X, they will pass the ball to the right. If I hold stick left and press X, it will pass the ball left, or bounce pass, it will bounce pass it right or left. I don't like openness. I know people like to play with openness, but the problem with openness is what you consider open and what 2K considers open are 2 very different things, okay? So sometimes it will pass the ball to somebody who I wouldn't consider him open, somebody standing next to him, but 2K might read it as, well, there's enough space in between them that will register this as open, and then you end up throwing turnovers and stuff. So I've never really had it on openness majority since like 2K19 or 2K18 or something like that. I always go target direction because I want to be in control. So that's just the settings for controller settings. Coach settings don't really matter too much. You are going to be playing a lot of my career. I like to just change the offense and defensive play call into manual, just because I don't want them randomly changing me into a 2-3 zone or 3-2 or full court press when we don't need to be full court pressing. So I keep this on manual. You can keep the team communication off. All this does is it'll show like a little bubble over your head telling you to switch, hedge and stuff like that. So if you're a new player, then I would recommend that you keep this on, and you can have it on for offense and defense. It'll tell you when to bump, when you're supposed to hedge, when you're supposed to switch, not to switch, go over the screen, go under the screen. It'll give you like a little text bubble above your head or above your teammate's head. Like, it'll tell you when to pick up, when you're not supposed to pick up, when to drop, when not to drop. So this is really good for learning, like, offense and defense, when they want you to cut and stuff, when you should stay. I don't need that, so I keep it off. And then, play calling messages, I go user plays only. And that's just, and I go play vision display full, so you see the full play or whatever. It's not going to show you just certain things. And that's what I use. These are just my settings. Again, you're going to be playing a lot of, my career early on until you probably get to like an 80. Then you can kind of wander into like rec and park. But I really wouldn't recommend you guys go in until you hit at least an 80. Moving on to the settings more further on, we do have the difficulty. And this is going to be very vital to you grinding out your build and getting your VC. We do have, I think, 6 or 5 difficulties. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 6 difficulties now. Semi-Pro wasn't a difficulty before, but I think they've been added into 2K like the last 2-3 2Ks. Before we just had Rookie Pro, All-Star, Superstar, Hall of Fame. Now we have Semi-Pro, which is kind of cool because now you have a difficulty that isn't as bad as Rookie, but it isn't as hard as Pro. To me, I don't really notice a difference between semi-pro and pro. To me, it's the same thing, except I'm getting less VC and my points. So I would recommend, if you can, play on pro difficulty. At the start, you want to be gaining as much VC as possible. You're going to be a 60 overall. It's going to be hard for you to shoot. It's going to be hard for you to score. You're not going to really be doing much of anything except, passing the ball, setting screens, and taking open shots and layups when you do have them. So you want to have as much VC as you can get. I would recommend you play on pro until your, player gets a little bit better. As you can see, this is what you'll be getting when you go based on that. And then as you upgrade your player, then you can go from pro to all-star and then go to superstar. I've never gone higher than superstar while playing NBA 2K24. That's just me. Hall of Fame is more, it simulates more like online play. So if you want to get a feel for how the game is going to play online, you can play Hall of Fame just for shooting. But the main reason why I don't like playing on Hall of Fame is that everything else doesn't simulate like how online is. You are much faster than offline Hall of Fame than online Hall of Fame. Because Hall of Fame, the shooting sliders might be Hall of Fame online, but all the other sliders aren't Hall of Fame online, so the speed, the attributes, the strength and all of that stuff, the collisions aren't all on Hall of Fame settings when you play online. And you'll notice that difference when you play My Career or offline Hall of Fame, and then you go online and play, which they say is on Hall of Fame. So Superstar, All-Star is really where you want to hang around, and even Pro difficulty. I would implore you not to drop it below Pro just so you get all your VC so you can upgrade your player faster. But again, if you're struggling, you can drop down to semi-pro if you need to. And here's the major thing that I wanted to tell you guys, that like I have a little system that I go based on my overall how I play. So, this is like my 4th, 5th build. Don't pay any attention or mind to this build. Like, this is just one of the builds that I just like to play around on or whatever. But when I was grinding this build, now this build, I had the VC already, so I didn't have to wait to, grind it up from 60 to 70, 70 to 80. I was able to just go straight to 84 or 85, I think, based on my attributes that I put up, right? But if I was grinding this build and this build was a 60 overall, I would be playing on pro difficulty until I hit like around 70, 75. By the time you hit a 75, a lot of these attributes will be up. So if we were pretending like this build was a 60 overall, by the time I got my speed and acceleration to a 75, my perimeter defense to a 75, my ball handle to like an 80, my pass to like a 70, my speed with ball to like a 70, my 3 to like an 80 or an 85, I would be around the 74, 75, 76-ish. When you reach that 75, 70 threshold, that's when I would, bring this up. And I would go from like pro difficulty up to all-star difficulty. And then once I bring that up and I get my guy up to like an 80, 85, then that's when I would go up again. I mean, you see my difficulties on All-Star when we first started, and that's what I like to play on. But if I was going to raise it, I would wait until I'm like an 80, 85. I would raise it or whatever, go up to that Superstar, get that plus 140. And I really wouldn't raise it again. But if I was to raise it, I probably would wait until I'm like a 90, 95 to raise it to Hall of Fame. But of course, if you are a 90, 95, then you probably aren't even trying to grind my career or anything like that at that point anyway. So that's why I said, the highest difficulty you really want to go for is Superstar difficulty. Now, moving on to our next, topic or whatever, is ways to alleviate the grind. And what I mean by that is really you're going to have a bunch of things that's going to help you with alleviating your grind. You're going to have GOAT skills. You're going to have badge perks, and you're gonna have multipliers as well too. So the first thing I'll talk about is GOAT skills, and this is gonna really make your grind significantly easier, especially when you start out at a 60 and 70 overall. Right here you see that you're gonna have a challenge that you have to do. So when you start my career, you're gonna be able to pick whichever one of these GOAT skills that you want. There's 3 in each category. You could choose finishing, shooting, playmaking, or defense, and you can pick 2. I usually go shooting and playmaking because those are the easiest to get. But you can go defense and finishing if that's the type of player that you have. I would go based on the type of player that you have, because then kind of makes it easier to get these and level these up. But if you want to go for your weakness, then you can go with finishing or defense if your player isn't really a defensive player or whatever. It's up to you. But basically what's going to happen is you're going to have a challenge that you have to do based on what you pick. So this one right here I picked is the Lone Ranger, and it says to attempt 4 3-point shots. And once I attempt 4 3-point shots, these are the boosts that my player is going to get. So I'm going to get a 97-3, which really doesn't make much of a difference because I have a 96 3 ball by default on this build. As I go back really quickly, you see I have a 96 3 ball on this build. But when you start out, you're not going to have a 96. So if you start out and you have a 60 3-point shot or a 55 3-point shot, you're going to be getting your 3 all the way up to a 97, which is going to be extremely important when it comes to grinding, because now when you go from a 50 or 60 and not being able to shoot on pro or all-star difficulty, you now have a 97 3 ball, which means now you can shoot on pro, all-star, or even superstar difficulty. You'll get a 96 ball handle, which again, it's not much on this build because I have a 95 ball handle by default. But if I'm starting out, I have a 60 or a 65 or a 70. That now goes into a 96 ball handle. I don't have no drive and dunk on this build, so my drive and dunk will go up to a 26, whoop-de-doo. And then my perimeter defense, as you can see, I already have an 85 perimeter defense, but my perimeter defense will go up to an 86, whoop-de-doo. But if you are just starting out and you're a 60 overall, that 86 or 85 perimeter defense is much appreciated, because now you're going up from a 60 to now an 85, 86. Now you can actually play really good defense on the perimeter. And this applies to everything. It applies to the playmaking, where you see the ball handle goes up, the speed with ball goes up. It applies to defense, where you see your steal goes up and stuff. So, it will apply to various different things, the finishing as well too. And the higher you go, the better the boost that you get. So as you can see all the way up here at the top level, you get 99 everything. So you'll have a 99 mid-range, 99 ball handle, 99 speed with ball, 99 steal. This one you'll have a 99 3, 99 mid-range, 99 close shot, 99 free throw. This one you'll have 99 3, 99 pass, 99 perimeter, 99 block. So, you can choose, which one you want to go for and how you do it. But this is ultimately going to help you alleviate your grind, and you're only going to start out to get this once a game. But as you look at this, once you keep upgrading, you'll be able to get this multiple times. So you see right here, the reward for shooting tier 5 is shooting skills can be activated multiple times during the same game. So when you start out, you'll only be able to activate it once. And then as you upgrade, I think you'll be able to activate it like twice a game, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it's only once. And then once you get the highest tier, you'll be able to activate these multiple times a game, whether it's finishing, shooting, playmaking, or defense. You'll be able to activate it multiple times. And you can see the duration of it lasts longer too. As you can see right here, it'll show you shooting skill durations are increased by 1.5 times. So this one, it'll say the same thing. You can't see it because I don't have it unlocked yet, but this will increase the duration again too. So you start off with I think 4 minutes right here. As you can see, duration is 4 minutes. And I think by the end, you get it all the way up to 8 minutes or 6 minutes. So that's a very long time to have a 99 3 ball. Even if it was just 4 minutes, think of how many possessions you can get in 4 minutes. That's almost a whole quarter if you're playing on 5-minute quarters that you'll have this boost. And then you get 2. So you technically could get 2 boosts that have 99 3. So you could get this boost here that'll give you a 97 3-point shot. And then you could get this boost right here, which will give you a 97 3-point shot as well too. And then you could do this challenge, get your 4 minutes worth of boost, and then complete this challenge and get another 4 minutes worth of boost. So you'll have 97 3-ball for 8 total minutes of the game, which, again, like I said, starting out, right now, it doesn't seem like much because I have a 96 3-ball in this build. But when you're first starting out and you're a 60 overall, this can go very crazy for you. It's very beneficial for you, okay? Now, moving on, we're going to be talking about the badge perks, which this will definitely help you. There's something called badge perks, and this right here is going to help you with upgrading your player. Now, you have 4 different sections. You have Overdrive, you have Immunity, and you have Drill Savant, and then you have the 4th section, which definitely changes for each season. But this is online. We're not even going to worry about this section. The only section you should be concerned about with is these 3 sections here, which is Overdrive, Immunity, and Drill Savant. Now, Drill Savant is very, simple. You basically put the badge that you want to work with, and then when you go to your team practice after you play an NBA game, you select your drills and you work on it, and whatever badge you have in these slots will get even bigger boost. So, let's say if you do a drill and you get 3 stars, and it would give you 5% or 10%. If you have that badge selected here in the Drill Savant category, that 10% now goes up to 30% or 40%. So you can get your badges way faster. Same thing that applies to Overdrive and Immunity. Badges that are in the Overdrive slot will receive an additional boost to progression. So as long as I have Agent 3 in this S tier slot, it's going to progress way faster than it normally would if I would have took it out and switched it with blinders. Now Agent 3 won't progress as fast, but then if I go back and switch it, now it will progress way faster while I have these badges in the Overdrive slot. Now, same thing with Immunity, except instead of the badge getting a better progression, it degrades less. So because I have Unpluckable and Immunity, you'll see that this badge will go down less. It will take longer for this badge to decrease. Same thing with Ankle Breaker, Open Looks, and Off Ball Pest. So this is really for badges that you kind of have maxed out. You can see that I have 2 Hall of Fame badges here, Open Looks badge and the Ankle Breaker badge. So trying to find Open Looks. I think I went past it. So you see Open Looks, I got maxed out. This isn't really a badge that you really would put there because you should be getting Open Looks and open shots anyway, or wide open shots anyway. But if this was a badge, let's say that's a Hall of Fame badge and you don't want to lose it, you will put this in the immunity category, and this will, definitely help you guys with keeping your badges and grinding out your badges while you're grinding out your build. And then finally, the last thing that we're going to talk about is the performance multipliers. Now, I still have a couple performance multipliers that I need to get. Haven't even played Pro-Am yet, so I don't have any of these. And I haven't really played much of Park, so I don't have any of the Park ones. I really just play Career and Rec. And what these will do is, basically, when you go to your quests, you'll have these quests, which is the side quest, and these quests are basically going to tell you what you need to do. So right here, to get the Park ones, you have to get an A- grade in Park or better, and you will unlock that one. If you get win games against tough opponents, you will unlock this one, which I only have 2 out of 34. And then if you just win Park games, you will get this one, which I only have 15 out of 50 because, like I said, I very rarely play Park. Same thing for Rec. The same thing applies. There's just 3 challenges that you have to do depending on what you play. So, like I said, one is to get an A-, one is to just win, and then one is to win against a really tough opponent. And you have to do this in all of these. You have to do it in the NBA, you have to do it in the Park, you have to do it in the Rec, and you have to do it in the Pro-Am. And basically what will happen is you will get a tremendous boost to your badge levels while you have these, performance multipliers unlocked. So when I play an NBA career game, as long as I finish with an A- or highness, my badges will get a bigger boost and the badge will progress faster. If I win the game, which you see I have winner takes all, the badge will progress even more because I won the NBA game. And then right here, you see that I have locked. I think I need to win one more game against a tough opponent. But if you win a game against a tough opponent that's a top 10 opponent or anything like that, top 10 in ranking or whatever, you will get progression. So the reason why I'm telling you guys this is that you can really grind out your badges super fast. If you finish with an A- and you win, your badges are going to go really, really fast. And then on top of that, if you're rocking Overdrive, you're going to get even more of a progression, and all of these stack. Whether you're in the Rec, whether you're in the Park, whether you're in the NBA, this stacks. So you will get your boost for having an A- grade, you will get your boost for winning the game, and you will get your boost for playing against a tough opponent, and you will get your boost as well for having Overdrive equipped for that badge or whatever. So you're talking about damn near a 3-time, 4-time boost for your badges, which is why you're able to grind your badges out super, super fast, hopefully these tips helped you guys with, grinding out your build, no money spent, and of course alleviating that grind so you don't have to grind as hard or spend as much time grinding out your build. It's been your boy Lit. Please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more NBA 2K24 content, and of course more no money spent guide episodes in the future. I'm out, y'all. Peace.